Hey Gemini, what's up gang? I hope everybody is well. So we're gonna go ahead and do a what you don't see coming. This is kind of like an unexpected reading. If that's something that interests you, do stick around. Gemini, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Jessica. Please take a look at my description box because that's gonna have any information that you would need to know. And yes, this is a Gemini channel. However, if you vibe, you tribe, so go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Gemini, if you're returning, welcome back. I hope that you're well, hope you're taking care of yourself. I do hope that you're doing what's best for you. Thank you for all the love, all the support. Gemini, thank you for all the good vibes. It really does mean the world, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. I bet you didn't see the stars and moon coming. I just felt like I wanted that old thing back for a second, you know, which is so ironic because we're on the last day of the retrograde. And I just felt like, yeah, I wanted to take it back for a second. So we will have the stars and stripes, the stars and moons until I decide otherwise, okay? Also, my hands are dyed. My fingertips are a little bit purple. So my nails might look a little dirty or whatever, but they're not. It's just I was juicing oranges. I don't know how you say that. I was juicing those. They're deep purple. And so yeah, the juice got all over my hands, and so there you go. But now that we've gotten all that out of the way, our intuitive message here is the world, guys. Okay, so something that I feel like you don't see coming could be, first of all, this card always talks about a change in perspective for me. Okay, because it's like always reminds me of the astronaut on the moon, like zoomed out, getting to see the world in its entirety for a second, and it can make a lot of things come into perspective for the astronaut. Okay, and so for some of you guys, maybe you were just too close to a situation before. Now that you've zoomed out, you're gaining a different perspective. I am getting, for some of you guys, this could be how somebody is feeling in regards to you. I almost feel like maybe this could be a parent, because I'm getting strong like parental energy. This could be a parent, a sibling, a friend, a lover. It could just be somebody where you guys really weren't on the same page and you weren't seeing something in the same way. And you might have tried to express your perspective and opinion to this person. And have you ever dealt with somebody where all they focus on is the reaction? They just focus on the fact that you're mad and not why you're upset or what would make you possibly act in this way. Maybe what their own actions and choices have contributed to something. They only see the reaction. They only see that you're upset. There could have been somebody who was kind of looking at you like that. Like, you know, oh, Gemini's just starting drama. Gemini just likes trouble. You know, Gemini's just too demanding or too much or whatever. But I feel like actually this person is starting to see that maybe they contributed something to that and their perspective is shifting because of that, okay? And this could be something you don't see coming because you think this person's stubborn and selfish and they only think about themselves, right? So there could be something there where, yeah, this person is actually starting to see things from your point of view. For others of you, I'm kind of getting this energy of travel here, and unexpected travel in a couple ways. Now, for some of you, this could be related to family. You could have family invite you somewhere unexpectedly. Maybe you have family that lives like on the other side of your country or wherever, and they invite you to come visit. For others of you, there could be a reason why you have to travel to family that's not related to them just inviting you. I'm also getting the energy of work travel, okay? And I feel like you might be stationed in one area, but you might get called to travel to a completely different area that you're just not expecting because of something that is work related, okay? For others of you, I do feel like there could be an unexpected self-indulgence on travel here. Maybe right now you have absolutely zero plans to travel or go anywhere, but I feel like that could change. Like you might decide, you know what, I'm not today, not tomorrow, not even next week, but maybe in a month or two, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna book a flight. I'm gonna go somewhere I've always wanted to go. I'm gonna get a hotel, get a flight or whatever, and I'm going to have some fun and enjoy myself. I feel like some of you guys might unexpectedly decide to do that. It's almost giving the energy of like you only live once. So yeah, why not just go ahead and have fun or enjoy your life? I'm getting that energy for somebody. I'm also getting success. Like if you're in the public eye in any way, whether this is in your community, whether it's online, through some kind of networking or whatever, I feel like there could be somebody who's noticed you, and this person might be coming forward to offer you something. And this could be related to your job in the aspect of they saw you this way, but it's actually not directly related to your job. Like this is somebody from a completely different place, completely different company, and they maybe see what you do, but they want you to come do that for them. That is definitely for some of you guys. I'm also just getting an increase in maybe clients or numbers, views, revenue. Take it as it resonates. But yeah, and this could just be unexpected because it just comes in like that, okay? And you're just like, whoa, okay. Like for some of you, you feel like you've done absolutely nothing different, but yet you're having different results, okay? Or some of you guys, you did try something new and now you're having really good results because of that. But I am feeling like that, okay? So now that we've talked about all that, let's go ahead and get into the angel numbers, guys. I'm not going to do an animal message, but I will do numbers, and then we're going to pull from the aesthetic, okay? So, Gemini gang, what do they not see coming, Spirit? What do they not see coming? We have 926. It says, be willing to embrace the changes that you are feeling drawn towards making. They are not daydreams, but divinely guided inspirations from the angels. So interesting. Gemini, you could be feeling very drawn or compelled to do something. Maybe it's travel, right? Maybe it's start your own business. Maybe it's start a hobby. Maybe it's, I don't know. It could be anything, guys. But it feels like you are being intuitively like poked and nudged here to do something. And what you might not see coming is that you actually do it. Because I feel like there could be some self-limiting thoughts here that are holding you back, like fear or the what ifs that could happen in a situation. And so you haven't done it. But I think that you might do it. Spirit's asking you to be willing to embrace changes that you're feeling drawn towards making. Like change can be scary because it can be unsettling and we can be going into the unknown. And even though us Geminis do like variety and we are very adaptable when it comes to change, being a mutable sign, we still can get in our head about it, and depending on how severe the change is, okay? But some of you guys are feeling really drawn towards making some kind of change in your life, or taking a step, taking a chance, going in a direction, investing in something. I feel like you're just gonna do it, okay? And it's gonna really shock you and surprise you. Okay, well, what else do we have? What does Gemini not see coming? How about 235? So it says, shifts are occurring that will bring you to a greater sense of contentment and peace. Interesting. So what you don't see coming is, like I feel like there's changes and there's shifts happening in your life, either by your own means or outside factors that you can't really control. And these things are bringing you to a sense of peace. Like you're going to feel more content with these changes and these shifts that you're actually bringing into your life. Some of you guys, I feel like why this is something that you don't see coming or why it's unexpected is because you might be considering doing something that's a little daring or a little risky, or, it is out of your comfort zone. And so you might think that you're actually inviting like maybe chaos or disruption into your life, or because say this is like a different routine or something. It's like, oh my God, now I have to wake up at a different time, change all my alarm clocks, right? To take a different route to work, it's something like that where it is going to disrupt your schedule or your routine that you already have going, but actually it's going to bring you contentment. It's going to bring you peace and fulfillment. You're going to be really happy that you decided to make these changes. So that's interesting. Let's get one more, guys. One more message for what Gemini gang does not see coming. How about 829? So it says, the next step in your journey involves you connecting to the voices and messages of the powerful female saints, deities, and masters of the past. They are now with you. Be their voice in the world. Interesting, y'all. So what you might not see coming is actually being a messenger, delivering some kind of message here. Maybe a message has been put on your heart from Spirit, or maybe there's something that you want to do, like maybe you want to be a motivational speaker, maybe you want to help people, maybe you want to be a life coach or something, but you are feeling divinely guided to kind of spread the word, spread the message, reach out to others. I also feel like you could be connecting with the divine feminine within yourself unexpectedly for some of you guys. because it's talking about powerful female saints and deities and masters of the past being with you and you being their voice, okay? But yeah, I feel like there's something here about connecting with your ancestors or connecting with spirit and kind of, you know, bringing through those messages that are needed. And some of you might feel a little bit apprehensive about this. Like, you might feel very compelled to give a message to like a family member. Like, let's say that, you know, you have it on your heart that you need to tell your Uncle Tom or something that they need to forgive somebody. And you're like, man, Uncle Tom's gonna look at me like I'm crazy, right? But finally you go ahead and you're like, hey, you know, I don't know why I'm feeling compelled to give you this message. I don't know why I feel like I need to say this to you, but I think you need to work on forgiveness, forgiving somebody. There's somebody specific that you need to forgive. And you never know, that could change Uncle Tom's life, right? Like, Uncle Tom could be like, dang, you know, because he's been holding a grudge with his brother or his sister for like 20 years or something that happened. You know, maybe he was passed up for a job, or maybe there was something that fell apart in his life and he just hasn't been able to let it go. He hasn't been able to forgive himself or the situation. And you saying that out of the blue was almost like a sign that this person is taking, okay? So I don't know. I feel like if you feel like something's on your heart, if you feel like you need to say something, if you feel like Spirit's giving you a message to say something to somebody, even if it's just a stranger at the store, you know, I feel like you need to, because there's something here where you're connecting with the other side and you're turning into a messenger for them, okay? Interesting. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. We're going to use the Aesthetic Oracle. And I'm just going to pull a few cards from this and we're going to go from there. So what does Gemini not see coming, Spirit? Okay, unexpected messages for Gemini. What do they not see coming right now? Let's find out. What does Gemini not see coming, Spirit? What does Gemini not see coming? What does Gemini not see coming? Okay, we have the affection card that came out. Yeah, somebody could be giving you a lot of praise. There could be a lot of recognition, some accolades coming in. This could be somebody trying to express how they feel. This could be somebody giving you well-deserved credit, okay, or praise. I'm actually getting a review too. Like, this could be a public review, like maybe on Google or something. Or somebody could just be reaching out to you personally to tell you how amazing you are. I don't know. That is what I'm getting for somebody. Like, there's going to be some kind of recognition that's going to come in surrounding your work or whatever it is that you put out there. Now, for others of you, yeah, there could be somebody or something that you're not expecting. Could be that, yeah, somebody's going to let you know how they feel, Gemini. Okay, that's what this card means for me at its core, is somebody basically telling you that they have feelings for you or that you're special, you're important to them, whatever, okay? But I am getting that energy. And it's funny too, because we have the hourglass on the bottom of the deck, and this does talk about divine timing for me. So it's almost like this was always going to happen, but it was going to happen within its own time. Maybe Spirit is nudging this person, because we did see that with being nudged to give messages. Maybe somebody is being nudged to kind of reach out to you and give you affection. For some of you, this could be you. What could, you know, shock you, or what you don't see coming, is that you're going to actually express your feelings to somebody. Maybe some of you guys have a crush on someone. There could be somebody at your work or in your neighborhood or somewhere around you or whatever. There could just be somebody that you're interested in, and you're like, there's no way I'm ever going to, you know, shoot my shot basically and take a chance with this. But you actually do, for some of you. So I feel like a declaration of feelings is what's happening here unexpectedly. Some of you guys could be dating somebody, and you know, you guys haven't really talked about feelings or anything, and suddenly the conversations start to get a little bit deeper and you're starting to delve into that. So we're going to see specifically what this is talking about with the tarot, but it does feel like there's going to be some love coming your way, whether this is career-wise, romantic, platonic. It does feel like somebody's going to be expressing something to you. What do we have here for Gemini? What do they not see coming? What does Gemini not see coming? We have the gift. Okay, Gemini. Now, for some of you guys, this is talking about your spiritual gifts. This is talking about being a messenger for the divine, like we picked up on in that book. Some of you, Spirit is giving you gifts. Yep. Okay, the moon on the bottom of the deck, intuition, backing that up. I feel like some of you guys, Spirit is giving you certain gifts that you are not aware that you could even do. Okay, So for some of you, your psychic abilities could be increasing, your intuition could be increasing. You could be getting, there's different clairs like clairaudience, clairsentient, claircognizant, okay, clairvoyant. Some of you guys could be getting some of the different clairs here, or maybe your intuition's coming through in a different way. Like maybe you used to have a lot of dreams and now you're kind of getting maybe visions or something while you're awake. There could be something like this happening. Or this could be a new skill, a new talent that's awakening within you. Some of you guys might be starting to get a little bit more prophetic. And versus like, say you were able to just like read the energy of a person, like you were an empath, so you could pick up on their feelings, their emotions, and kind of understand what they were going through at any given time. Now you might be like transitioning into having like prophetic dreams or prophetic visions where you're actually seeing things in the future and these things happen, okay? So that's just for some of you guys. For others of you on the physical level, I mean, dang, somebody could want to gift you something. This could be for some of you. This is not going to be for everybody. But for somebody out there, yeah, the gift of travel is for sure coming in. Like this person might, take you out to dinner and be like, hey, what do you think about going to this place? I've always wanted to go here. I'd love to go with you. I'd love to experience it with you. For some of you, yeah, there's like a vacation or something that's coming up. Okay? For others of you, this could be somebody who just wants to give you something to express how they feel. Maybe they want to give you a bracelet or a watch or a ring, or I don't know. There is somebody who wants to gift you something. I'm also seeing this gift as an opportunity. And with the moon, I just feel like you don't, of course, don't see it coming, right? That's the reading. But it feels like, yeah, you really don't. But maybe your intuition has been telling you that this was going to come. I don't know, Gemini. It feels like you're about to be spoiled and you don't see that coming. You do not see that coming, okay? But I feel like, yeah, you might be getting low-key spoiled here coming up by somebody or by different people. Like, so, you're getting lots of recognition, you're getting lots of accolades, and then you have, a deepening of your connection that you're involved in, or maybe people are gifting you things. You could have family members that are gifting you stuff. Like, I'm getting like a China hutch or something, or like old China. There's something with China hutch, China cutlery, something like that, like maybe you go and you help auntie your uncle whoever clean out something and they're like, hey, would you like this, would you like that? There could be something like that coming through where you're going to be gifted something and you're like, oh well, wow, thank you. Yeah, look, oh, it didn't, I shuffled it too late, but the person watching with the camera tried to pop out. I feel like somebody maybe has been doing some research on what you'd like, or research on how to, again, maybe plan a trip or something. That's for somebody. That's not for everybody. And probably not even for a lot of you, so I don't want to stay on that. But it is coming through pretty strongly. What else do we have here for Gemini gang? What do they not see coming here? What does Gemini gang not see coming? Oh. Too many cards popped out. What does Gemini not see coming? Unexpected things here. We have the zebra. So for some of you guys, what you don't see coming is overcoming some kind of struggle that you've been going through. The zebra for me talks about spiritual warfare. Okay. And showing up in an authentic way, really believing in yourself. And it's funny because we have karmic energy in reverse on the bottom of the deck. And some of you guys might find yourself resisting something, okay? Resisting some kind of karmic energy. And I don't even know if this is outside of yourself. I mean, yeah, it could be showing up, manifesting in a person. Sometimes the things we need to work on inside do manifest in a person, so that way we can really feel it and process it and work on it. But this actually feels like something within yourself. So some of you guys might be working on like old childhood trauma, old childhood wounds. Maybe you're going to therapy, or maybe you're getting some kind of guidance here for sure, or really trying to do some research or work on yourselves. And I feel like what you don't see coming is maybe you're not somebody who believes in therapy or something, okay, for some of you guys. But others of you, I feel like what you don't see coming is it actually works. And it's almost like maybe you go to therapy or you go digging. Maybe you get like a self-help book or something, but you go digging and then you open up a whole can of worms and it actually heals a lot more than what you were expecting. I'm getting that as well. Another thing that you don't see coming is somebody's getting karma in regards to you right now. Because the zebra is reminding me of my karma deck, y'all, okay? And I feel like this person could be going through something. I don't know why I'm feeling drawn to the yin yang. This person could be being forced to look at their shadow side right now, look at the darker aspects of themselves. That could be what I was picking up with the world about the deep perspective that somebody could be having in regards to you. Somebody could have been writing you off as the problem, Gemini. You're the problem, you're the problem, you're the problem. Taking absolutely zero time to self-reflect or take any kind of accountability. And you know how people be, right? And I feel like there could have been something here where now they're being forced, like Spirit's forcing this person to go through an awakening or an ascension or a judgment call. And let this reading flip for you if that's what's needed, if you're the one that's going through this, because self-reflection is something that we all go through. So maybe somebody, I'm getting the energy of like what you don't see coming is somebody taking accountability for real or working on themselves in a really real way. Like this could be somebody making like a lot of progress when it comes to self-development. This could definitely be like a parent or a family member or something, and maybe you haven't talked to them in a while and they pop back up and it's just like, wow, you have changed for the better. And they're like, oh yeah, I've been in counseling and I've been reading these books and I've been, I stopped these bad habits and I've been taking care of myself. And you're just like, well, damn, I'm kind of getting that energy here. Now, another thing I'm getting from the zebra is you accepting the gifts that are being given to you by the divine. Like for some of you guys, you are going to be given these like abilities here. Or again, the calling to like start spreading messages, start helping people in a really real way. And some of you guys are not expecting, because see how the zebra's head is like kind of turning away from the gift? Like, no, I don't think I can do this. No, I don't think and there's almost this energy of like accepting it. And with this is going to come some kind of recognition and accolades here, but I don't feel like that's why you're doing it, because I don't feel like you're even thinking that it'll get that far or that you're worthy of that. I almost feel like, it's something that Spirit's putting on your heart and you decide to go ahead and step into your authenticity and take on that role. And then when that happens, it's like, because of that, there is some kind of, recognition. It's interesting because I had somebody in my comments, and I forget who it was. I feel like I should remember who this is, but this person said that they don't know what their life purpose is. They don't know what Spirit would be calling them to do. And I feel like that could be something that you don't see coming, is like there is going to be a purpose that's being offered to you. And it's actually going to be connected to something that you're already passionate about, or something that you've already kind of had in the back of your head, but you never really shined a light on it because it didn't feel like it was realistic or significant or something like that. And I gotta tell you guys, for real, my voice, my throat chakra has been really acting funny ever since I started this reading. So this could be you finding your voice, speaking up, saying what's on your heart, being authentic here, stepping into your power, accepting this gift from the divine. That's really what I'm getting. Because two of these cards are talking about you accepting something or receiving something or giving something, depending on where you're at in this. But the zebra just makes me feel like there's a resistance to it. Anything else? I don't know if I'm going to keep them, but I want to see if we can get any more messages here. We have the chess game, okay, with friends. So there could be some kind of networking or something, or there could be somebody who wants to make a strategic move towards you, Gemini. Maybe this person wants to come in under the guise of friends, okay? Or maybe somebody feels like if we just, I don't know, if we just do the friendship thing, we'll be okay. I don't know, there's something like that with somebody. But it does feel like somebody wants to make a move here with the chess game. I don't think you're expecting this. I'm hearing lost cause, so maybe you wrote this person off as like a lost cause, Gemini. Or this situation. Yeah, I feel like you cleanse something out. Like you're like, yeah, that's sailed away, right? I feel like some of you guys thought maybe an opportunity or something has sailed away. Because this could be somebody reaching out to you to work for them, and they're being very strategic and trying to find out like how they could do that. How could they make a move towards you? I don't know, I'm getting that for somebody. Anything else here? We have the wish fulfillment, the dandelion. Look, the friends is back on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I feel like there is some kind of wish fulfillment coming in, guys. And I feel like it's connected to other people or to situations, groups, community. But yeah, I feel like you don't see this coming. So it's going to be different for everybody. And I don't want to get too detailed because then I feel like it's hard for everybody to kind of resonate with it. But I feel like, yeah, there's something here where it's like you don't expect this wish. Or maybe you sent up a prayer or you made a wish or something. And it's actually going to come true. Interesting, y'all. Okay. Anything else before we put this deck up? Anything else before we put this deck up for what Gemini doesn't see coming, Spirit, the unexpected? We have the dessert. Look, with honey. Yeah, some of you guys are going to start indulging in yourself a little bit more. Not in like a toxic way either. Because I feel like a lot of you might be working through addictions or addictive personality or like obsessive things, right? Like, you know, so I feel like, you know, when you find a good thing, you're like, oh, I'll latch on to it. I feel like you're working on kind of not doing that anymore. But this feels like healthy indulgence. It's funny too because I'm seeing a lizard outside my window, and lizards for me talk about instincts, following your instincts. But in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, that lizard talks about being very sensitive and maybe even like a little like autistic or neurodivergent, like, you know. And so there could be something here where maybe you have indulged in the wrong things in the past, like things that maybe weren't healthy as like a coping mechanism. And I feel like there could be something here where you're going to start learning how to indulge in the healthier things for you. Okay? So some of you guys might really decide to make a big purchase, or it could be like getting a new piece of furniture, or redoing, redecorating your house where you feel like it's a sanctuary, you know? Maybe redoing your car. Maybe you're not getting a new car. Maybe you want to get a paint job. You want to have a different color car, okay? Maybe it's booking a trip somewhere or doing something, or maybe you're going to book a class, you know? Maybe you want to do a cooking class or a pottery class or a gardening class or something like that. It feels like indulging in something, but in a way that it feels rewarding with the honey. Because that's what the honey talks about for me. It's like a reward after hard work. So if this is like booking a trip or something, it's like, man, I work so hard. I can take this couple days, week maybe, to just not think about work and just have a good time, you know? Or maybe like, again, like cooking class, learning how to cook foods that are healthy for you. Yes, come through, Spirit. That's what I'm talking about. It's like self-care, self-indulgence, doing something for yourself. I feel like you don't see this coming because maybe this is something you don't do very often, Gemini. I'm not trying to call you out, but I feel like you're so busy worrying about everybody else or working or grinding that you just don't take a lot of time to stop and think, what do I want to do? What would fulfill me? You know, or maybe I should take a break, or maybe I should just, you know, focus on me for a second and do something that makes me feel good. I feel like y'all might be doing that. Okay, so what is this bouquet of flowers that's coming in for Gemini? What is this bouquet of flowers? What is this talking about for Gemini game for the unexpected? That's way too many. But 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, 2 of Swords. It does feel like there could be somebody who maybe wants to make up for something. But that's not going to be for everybody. What is this flowers that's coming in for Gemini gang? Look, 5 of Pentacles came back out. Spirit's like, I said what I said with the 4 of Cups on the bottom. Well, I'm getting a couple things. The first one, the most obvious one, guys, yeah, there could be somebody who wants to come in out of the cold and they're going to offer some kind of, you know, peace offering perhaps, or they're going to give you the flowers that they feel like they should have given you a long time ago. Like somebody feels like they just didn't show up in the way that they should have for you. This does not have to be romantic. Let's not make it romantic, guys. This could be family. It could be friends. It could definitely be like a friend or a family member that they just feel like they did not honor, you know, that connection. That is definitely going to be for some of you guys. It's somebody wanting to come in from the cold here with this flowers, and they want to give you, like, it feels like a nice gesture or a gesture of affection here. Now, for others of you, you could be out here trying to work really hard with that 5 of Pentacles, and maybe you feel like you're on the struggle bus. Maybe you don't feel like you're getting the results that you should because of all the hard work and effort that you're putting in. I feel like something that you don't see coming is all of a sudden getting that recognition, getting those accolades. I feel like some of you guys could have taken the easy way out when it comes to something, but you decided not to. You decided to go ahead and stick through it because that's what this card is talking about too. She could just go into that church and find warmth and find security and find comfort, but she's deciding to kind of rough it. because she knows that there's something else out there with that lantern here. It's like leaning on her own sense of understanding. And so, yeah, I feel like something that you've been working on that maybe you've been on the struggle bus with, and you're like, damn, is this ever going to happen? Am I ever going to be recognized? Am I ever going to see any kind of success or something like that? It's like it comes in. You know, you could have been feeling like, you know, very frustrated about this with the Four of Cups. Like, all I do is sacrifice and put in time and energy to make this work, and it's just not working, you know? For others of you, yeah, somebody feels like they missed an opportunity with you, straight up, okay? They feel like they ignored you, or they pushed you to the side, they put you on the back burner. They just didn't honor you the way that they feel like they should have. And you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20, right? So sometimes we don't see things until it's too late, which is unfortunate, because you might not be wanting to take this person's flowers now. You might be like, sucks to be you, right? Should have figured that out. I don't know. That's not everybody. Some of you guys, you know, when somebody comes through and apologizes, it's actually quite rare, because not a lot of people take accountability. And this is not me saying that you have to forgive somebody or even acknowledge somebody's apology, but I feel like it is rare for somebody to do that. It's rare for people to actually show, you know, show growth or show a level of awareness that they realize that they have messed up. And so I feel like for some of you, you might be more willing, especially if this is like a family member or a friend or something, you know, you might be like, yeah, you know, I don't know. That is for somebody. This could also be you, though. Maybe you're like, it'll be a cold day in hell before I apologize to that person, or before I give that person their flowers or whatever. But I guess it's a little frosty in hell, because for some of you, yeah. And that could be because of that perspective shift that you've had, you know? Y'all got to take these readings as they resonate, because I feel like I read for both sides a lot, you know? And you know yourself way more than I know you, right? So you know where you're at in all of this, okay? Give me something else for these flowers, Spirit, for what Gemini don't see coming. We have the 9 of Swords. Yeah, this is really giving me both of those messages. So get in where you fit in, guys, okay? For some of you, yeah, somebody feels anxious and they feel upset about things that have gone down in the past. Maybe somebody's like rereading messages or something, or reliving something, revisiting something. With the 9 of Swords, somebody could be having sleepless nights, bad dreams, you know? I'm hearing that song from Bruno. Oh God, here we go. Here we go. I'm hearing that song from Bruno Mars where he's like, I should have bought you flowers and held your hand. Should have gave you all the hours when I had the chance, right? He's talking about, I should have took you dancing, or should have took you out to all the parties because all you wanted to do was dance. Now you're dancing. Oh no, now my baby's dancing with another man. That's what he says. Yeah. So I don't know, somebody could be in a little bit of regret about you guys. I mean, you know, I don't like these messages. I'm sorry. And I know, okay? There are readers that will jump on these messages and make the whole reading about that, but that's just not my bag, y'all. Like, it just isn't. And I know that is possibly a reason why I don't get all the views in the world and all this, because I don't jump on the messy train and the baggage train. I just don't, that's not how in real life, that's not what my focus is on. My focus is on growth. It's on spirituality. You know, it's on curing addictions, being a better version of myself. Like, and so I try to like keep the focus on that in readings, but I kind of am getting that energy for somebody, okay? And maybe somebody needs to hear that. There is somebody that is in heavy regret and they do want to come forward, give you your flowers. They see you moving on. They see you doing better. They see you taking care of yourself. They see your worth. And it's sad when they didn't see it before, but they do see it now, guys. With the 8 of Swords, this person's got some self-limiting beliefs and they're up and down. They're going back and forth. Should I make a daring move? Should I go in? Is this person just going to ignore the fuck out of me like I ignored the fuck out of them, right? So somebody is definitely feeling that. Now for others of you where that's not the case, okay? I feel like, again, you've been stressed out about whatever this is that you're working on, whatever this is that you're trying to build here. You might have been going through like a lot of different ideas, plans with all these books, like where have I gone wrong, or how can I fix this? How can I make this work, you know? For some of you, this is going to work out. I feel like what Spirit is wanting you to know here in this situation is that this was like a development stage. right? Where you were learning tenacity, you were learning dedication, you were learning commitment, and these things aren't easy. It's easy to be committed to person, place, or ting if things are going brilliantly, if everything's great and there's no bumps in the road and it's smooth sailing as far as the eye can see. Well, yeah, it's really fucking easy to commit then, you know? But when shit's going awry, or you're not seeing the results that you want to see, or it's bumpy, well, then it's like that's the most ideal time to jump ship, right? So some of you guys have been learning lessons about commitment and sticking through things even when you're not seeing the results. I feel like that's going to change though with this Nine of Pentacles. Okay? 2 nines and numerology talking about being at the end of a cycle here. I feel like you're pushing, and you're about to see that change. You're about to see that, okay? So get some rest, Gemini. Take some melatonin. You know what I mean? Relax. Get some rest. Put it into Spirit's hands. Something is going to work out for you. I do feel like you're going to get some kind of recognition or well-deserved, like, flowers. Like, somebody going to give you flowers. Somebody could quite literally be giving you flowers, or getting flowers delivered to your place or your work, or leaving, I don't know, leaving them on the doorstep and then running off seems a little creepy. Like, just knock on the door. You know what I mean? That just seems a little creepy to me. But whatever. To each their own. Somebody could want to, like, you know, leave some flowers for you somewhere that they know you go. Whatever, okay? But I am getting that energy, though, for some of you, like, actually real life flowers coming in. Maybe Spirit's saying, go buy yourself some flowers. You deserve it. Don't wait for nobody to give you flowers. Go buy your own, okay? The star, yeah, you're going to be shining soon, for real, with that star energy. So keep sticking something through. Keep working hard on this. This goal, you're going to achieve this. I feel like right now, again, what I already said, you're developing some sense of character within this, okay? The star also talks about healing. It's also Aquarius energy. Okay, guys, let's move on. What is this gift? What is this gift that Gemini don't see coming? This gift. We have the 10 of Cups. For some of you guys, I am getting heavy psychic ability or spiritual gifts with this, okay? Because the Cups talks about spirituality for me. 10 of Cups talks about family, or just a happy dynamic, a loving relationship, perhaps for some of you. Page of Cups, children. I feel like something has been generational, like something has been passed down to you from maybe your grandmother, your grandfather, like they have this ability too. You know, you might have heard stories about how they were a seer, or how they always had these dreams that came true, or how they were able to see spirits, okay? But I feel like there's something here where this gift has been passed down to you and you don't see this coming. Maybe because it's happening later in life. Like maybe you know, other people got their gifts when they were old, like younger, you know? Like they were from a very young age, they had these abilities. And maybe something just kicks in for you all of a sudden when you're in a later aspect of your life. And it could be because you had other things you had to focus on. You had other lessons or growth that you needed to go through. There could have been a level of maybe shame too with this zebra, of not really wanting to acknowledge something or see something or accept something. And that could have been what delayed this gift of coming through. But I feel like it's coming through now. Some of you, what you don't see coming is that maybe you might have passed the psychic ability on to a child, and maybe you're not aware of that. So if you're a parent and you're like, oh, my kid seems like they're a normie, right? They don't seem like they have any extra things going on. You might start to hear some things, like they might be like, well, I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things, or they might say things to you that you're just like, how did they know that? You know, or how could they possibly know that? Or they might predict things, not even really predicting it, just saying it. And then all of a sudden it happens a couple days later and you're like, what? And it might start happening so frequently that you're just like, oh, okay. You're a little psychic of the world over here. I didn't even know. Like there's something like that for somebody for sure. I also feel like, again, if you're in a really loving relationship or there's somebody that has a lot of emotion towards you, like they just want to express that. I'm getting that very strongly with the 10 of Cups, Page of Cups. Because this is a declaration of feelings and love, and we see that, okay? If this person is like, it's been a burden, it's been hard. There could have been a lot of chaos, there could have been a lot of conflict, a lot of change. Upheaval is what I'm getting, okay? 555 could be significant for somebody. Yeah, 5, 5, 5. 5, 5, 5, 5, okay, because 5 of Pentacles is out here, but yeah, Hierophant's 5, 5 of Wands, 5 of Swords, 5, 5, 5. And then under that, we have 10 of Wands, which is 2 5s. I don't know, y'all. The 5s are kicking for somebody, okay? Maybe you're born in May. But yeah, I feel like there is something here where there's a gift of happiness or a gift of fulfillment. This could also be, again, a vacation or travel. Spirit could be also gifting you a relationship, low key. That's for somebody, right? I don't know. That is for somebody. Give me something else with this gift here. We have Judgment. Okay? That's 4 5s. I don't know. Anyways, there's something up with that, okay? With that being card number 20. But Judgment, that's Scorpio energy. I feel like there's been a reflection, and because of that, there's been an awakening. Again, on a spiritual level for somebody, you are awakening to a higher path, a higher calling, or gifts that you just weren't aware that you had. Okay? Or maybe you knew you had these gifts, but it wasn't to that level, okay? And because this is awakening, it's like it's causing an awakening on like all fronts of your life for sure. There's also, for some of you guys, if somebody has bought you something or is gifting you something or offering something to you, they've been thinking about this for a while with the Judgment energy. Like they've been heavily reflecting on this. So if this is somebody asking you to marry them, asking you to move in with them, giving you something, they've had this for a while. So let's say that you are in a relationship, Gemini, okay, and they ask you to marry them. They've had that ring for like a good 6 months, okay? They just been reflecting. Like, is this really what I want to do? Do I really want to change the dynamic of our relationship? Is like, you know what I mean? This feels like somebody who thinks a lot, like a lot before they do something. Whatever this gift is, it's going to make you happy, and I don't feel like you see it coming. Yeah, told you. Look, King of Swords. I was right. Like, Jessica, stop doubting yourself so much. Yes, I was right with that King of Swords. This is somebody who thinks a lot. This is somebody who looks at every single angle of something. This is somebody who goes over every single detail and maybe even scrutinizes, looks at the pros, looks at the cons, looks at the pros again. This could even be somebody who's like, you know, wrote something down. Should I marry Gemini on a piece of paper? Pros of marrying Gemini. Cons of marrying Gemini, right? And then they're like... I don't know why I'm seeing like on somebody's list, like, should I marry Gemini or should I get into a relationship with Gemini, right? I feel like on their pro, it's like you're in a relationship with Gemini. And then on their con, it's like you're in a relationship with Gemini. I don't know why I'm seeing that on somebody's list, but they're like, yeah, it's a double-edged sword here for real. But I feel like there's something with that. Like somebody maybe is writing a list down or I don't know. Somebody is like processed oriented, right? Or like analysis oriented or something. Like they analyze things. This person could have a lot of Virgo or Mercury in their chart. Okay, so Gemini, Virgo energy. This person could have a lot of that in their chart where they really do analyze. They're like a scientific type of mind, you know? Look, the Lover's coming out. There's your energy, Gemini, okay? I feel like somebody's making a choice here. Whether this is you making a soul choice to jump into your gifts, jump into whatever this ability is that Spirit's gifting to you, okay? Whether this is you deciding to wake up to your soul purpose, your soul mission, or figuring that out, or whether this is somebody that is seeing that, you know, what they want to invest in regards to you, or you seeing what you want to invest in regards to somebody. Either way, there's like a soul choice here, right? Like it's a very important spiritual choice when the Lovers comes out, you know? So there could be something like that. Also, what you might not see coming is like, you might be like talking to somebody, walking with somebody, and like they all of a sudden reach out and they hold your hand. Cause see the hands on the Lovers card, and then see in the Ten of Cups, how they're holding hands. Like you might not expect that. Yeah, so somebody might be making a move towards you guys. Damn, Gemini. Okay. Congratulations. Yeah, I feel like somebody is going to like make a move and try to hold your hand. I don't know if you're going to let them, but they're going to try, right? Okay, what is the Zebra energy for what Gemini does not see coming? What is the Zebra energy? We have the High Priestess coming out. Virgo, Pisces energy. Page of Cups. Yeah, I really feel very strongly somebody waking up to their soul purpose, okay? Somebody, you know, getting this gift or this ability that's being given to them, or this message that they're getting put on their heart to like spread to people, like getting out there and being seen and speaking in an authentic way. You might have like knowledge that is inherited, like it's not privy to everybody. This comes from the divine. Like you are a channel for the divine, or you know, you get certain downloads, certain messages. It doesn't even have to be using cards. Like this could be something where you just channel messages. And there was something here where you were very conflicted about that with that zebra. You know? I feel like what you're not expecting is you're going to kind of lean into it more, or be more accepting, be more open of these gifts. I'm feeling that very strongly. Another thing I'm getting is, again, if you went into some kind of therapy, or this damn fly is bugging the shit out of me. You know, you leave your door open in Florida, and all kinds of critters are just gonna fly right in. And I made the mistake of doing that while I was checking on my plants earlier, and now we have a fly in the house. Anyways, I know some of y'all say flies are spirit guides. Some of y'all say flies are monitoring spirits. I just think it's a fly, but whatever. To each their own, guys. Okay, maybe it's showing up at this part of the reading for a reason. Okay. Damn, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. If you're like going through some kind of like therapy, self-help, reading books, watching YouTube videos, deep diving, journaling, whatever it is you're doing to try to connect to your deeper emotions, to kind of look at the shadowy aspects of your life that you don't normally look at, or of yourself that you don't normally look at. I feel like you're getting taken back to childhood here with the Page of Cups. You might be seeing how, like, some of you, especially from my masculines, but not only, guys, okay? Not only, but I am getting for like a masculine energy. Like, you've been a sensitive soul your whole life. Like, you've always been sensitive. You've always been a little psychic, or very compassionate, you know, very nurturing, very giving. And I feel like, especially, and this is why I say this, especially for my masculine, like my people who identify with being male. I say this for y'all because sometimes that's not really like allowed, right? When it comes to being a man, like, you know, hold back your emotions. Don't cry. Don't be too sensitive. Don't be too nurturing. You know, it's funny because I was watching some kind of YouTube video, and I forget what it was. I think it was on like suppression of emotions as a child and what that does to you. And they were showing some kind of clip from like that movie, I think it's Hustle and Flow, where the dad was holding his baby, and the baby was literally like probably a year old. Like, he was not old enough to even know what the hell this dude's even talking about. But the baby's crying because that's how babies express themselves, right? They cry, they make noises. They're not, you know, old enough to form complete sentences or even complete thoughts to express how they're feeling, so they cry. That's what babies do, you know? But the dad, obviously being a man, and however he grew up and what dynamic he grew up in his childhood, was taught that crying is weakness, you know? So even a baby crying, he's looking at that baby as being weak. And so he's like shaking, you know, not shaking the baby in a violent way, but just like, you know, bouncing him up and down, trying to calm him and soothe him. And he's like, you gotta stop that crying shit. You gotta stop that. That's weak. You can't be weak. You gotta be a man. It's like, this baby ain't a man. This baby's barely a boy. It's an infant. It's a 1-year-old. You're not comfortable with your emotions. You're not comfortable with crying. You look at that as a sign of weakness because that's what was taught to you. So now you're already projecting that onto your child. So now that kid's going to grow up thinking that their emotions aren't safe. Their emotions are something to be ashamed of, and crying is something that's bad. It's like, these are how these generational cycles kind of happen. And I feel like some of you guys, especially, again, my masculines, you might be seeing that maybe, yeah, you were told to stop crying a lot as a child, or, oh, art and music and whatever is stupid, or, you know, why would you want to express yourself, or you're being too emotional, or, you know, you got to get over it and carry on. Like, you could be seeing how these things have really worked themselves into your subconscious and actually contribute to a lot of things that you're doing now as an adult, right? So there's just like a deep dive that's taking place here. And I feel like with this deep dive, there's also, again, spiritual gifts or something that's being activated. But most importantly, you're learning how to step into your authenticity with that zebra energy. You're just being authentic to who you are, you know? The sun. Yeah, there's ultimate clarity coming through, y'all. For real. Like, there's a spotlight. Get the spotlight from Crocodile Dundee. That's just one of my favorite scenes in that movie, because she's just like, well, what are you going to do about it? And he's like, I don't know. Ain't my problem. Right? And she just looks at him like horrified, like, what do you mean it's not your problem? It's an innocent kangaroo. And he's like, ugh, fine. Right? And he jumps into action. I don't know. I love Crocodile Dundee. Anyways. Definitely big crush vibes on Crocodile Dundee. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, I feel like there's something here with clarity of like a spotlight being put on that, you know, because nothing can hide in the light, right? Everything has to be seen. Everything has to be vulnerable. That's why it's so scary to step into the light, into our authenticity, into who we are, because we have to see the shadowy aspects of ourselves too. We have to see the parts of ourselves that need to be worked on, or the parts of ourselves that we don't like, you know? But it's actually going to bring some kind of joy and awareness and happiness, because you finally get to let something go. You know, it's funny because I'm be one of those people that goes, my therapist, but it's true, I do have a therapist. My therapist told me that I minimize things too much. Like, you know, I was talking about something that, not to get into my stuff because I don't like to get too personal, but I was talking about something that happened when I was growing up, and how, you know, I don't want to call out anything to do with my family or my parents, so I'll leave anything out of it. I'll just say what I said basically was, oh, they were just a little bit verbally abusive. Okay, but a lot of people have it a lot worse. And my therapist was like, you know, you're minimizing your pain or what you went through. And when we do that, when we minimize our emotions, it's like shoving it into the closet. But what we really need to do is we need to bring it out of the closet, and we need to look at it and call it out for what it is. It was a verbal abuse. It doesn't matter if it was an eensy weensy bit or if it was the whole freaking, you know, pot of it. Either way, it's being verbally abused, right? So not minimizing things anymore and putting a spotlight on it, and not making yourself into this wounded warrior of like, oh, well, you know, a lot of people had it worse. A lot of people had it worse than me. I got to buck up. I got to be strong. I got to let it go. I got to move on. But actually sitting here and putting that spotlight on it and facing it, stepping into your personal power here, is really doing some of you guys good. And maybe you just don't see this coming. Like you didn't see this awakening or something, or this transformation. Damn, these messages just get deep sometimes. Sometimes I like come on, and since it is so deep, we're going to use the Soul Journey Lessons card. Sometimes I like shame myself a little bit, and I'm just like, Jessica, you know, just talk about simple things. You know, just talk about love, or just talk about, you know, this or that. But I just can't make myself give messages that, I mean, anything other than what I'm called to give, right? Anything other than what I'm compelled to say. You know, because sometimes I feel like my readings aren't, and I don't know, guys, I'm sorry if I'm like complaining or making this all about me. I'm really not trying to, but I feel like sometimes my readings just aren't really relatable for everybody or for a lot of people. I feel like my readings are very specific for specific individuals that are just on that journey, you know, which is fine. You know, your vibe attracts your tribe, but I'm sorry, y'all, I'm being extra vulnerable with y'all right now. Let's, get some advice and additional messages here. What do we have here for Gemini gang? We have patience. Wow, I accept that everything happens in divine order. Uh-oh, I dropped some of my cards. I'll get those in a second. I really like that message though with the patience, because that is what I was talking about over here. Some of you guys have been in this moment of like being on the struggle bus. I'm back. I went and got my cards. But yeah, some of you guys have had this moment of like being on the struggle bus and not seeing the results that you want to see. And so, you know, and I told you, I feel like that there's like some kind of character building here, or endurance building, or working on commitments, working on being dedicated and sticking things through, even when it's not always ideal. And so I feel like what Spirit is saying is something was always going to happen. It just needed to happen in divine timing, or maybe you needed to learn some lessons or develop yourself in certain ways before this could actually come to pass, okay? But I feel like this is coming in soon. Now, with all those cards that just fell, this was the only one that was flipped over. I'm not going to take it, but I do want to acknowledge it, because I feel like there could be something about the comparing yourself to other people, and not in the way of like being necessarily like jealous with the envy, but maybe feeling like other people have it easier, or maybe other people are getting there faster, or, you know, like they are making more of a stride or having more achievements, or they have a happier relationship, or everything just seems to be so easy for them, right? And so there could be something here where you're not like necessarily jealous of the other person. You're just kind of more like, well, why can't it be me, right? But envy says, I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. And so what Spirit is saying here with that is that everybody has challenges. Nobody has it just easy. You know, it's very easy to look from the outside in to somebody's life and think that they don't go through any struggle or they haven't experienced things, but that's not the case. We all go through struggles, we all experience things. And you could be meeting somebody at a completely different chapter of their life, where if you had met them at a different chapter, an earlier chapter, you might think, oh wow, this person's going through everything. But so it's kind of like, you know, where we meet people doesn't necessarily mean that's their whole story, you know? So don't judge somebody based off of where they're at right now, because they've had a whole story that maybe you don't know about, right? And some people kind of keep things inside too. That's why it's you know, you should always try to be kind. Nobody's perfect, obviously, but we should always just try to be kind to everybody, because you don't know what somebody's going through, you know? All right, so let's go ahead and move on, guys. What else do we have here for advice and additional messages for Gemini gang? Advice and additional messages for Gemini gang. We have grief. Damn. I'm like, yep, these cards, they're going to take it there. Okay? These cards always take it there. Grief says, I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it with empathy. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. That's really interesting. I'm getting a couple messages. First of all, the message that we already talked about, where somebody could be grieving you, Gemini, or grieving a situation in regards to you, family, friends, lover, whatever, take it as it resonates. This person is starting to develop some kind of empathy in regards to you in this situation. They're just starting to see where you were coming from, or what was up, right, with you. Like, you know, they're seeing your side of something now. And this could have thrown this person into this grief energy, because they might feel like they've lost you, okay? But, you know, understand that losing something, as it says on this card, is an opportunity to appreciate it. Sometimes we don't, you know, it's like, it can be down to the simplest thing, like a car or like a couch, right? Say your couch was to fall apart right now, today. Poof, the couch just fell apart, it's gone. Like, you're suddenly going to realize how much you actually needed that couch, how much you actually depended on that couch, how valuable that couch actually was. Right now, it's just a piece of furniture that you walk past every day. You don't see it, you know, until you want to sit on it, basically. But when it's not there anymore, it's like, damn, that's actually like important, you know? So, and that can be the same way with people, jobs, situations, whatever. You know, sometimes you have to lose something to actually see the true value that it held in your life, Gemini, okay? And somebody could be going through this in regards to you, or you could be going through this right now. Another message that I got with this was that some of you guys are meant to be like grief counselors, or you're meant to help people when they go through their grieving process, or when they're in the middle of mourning something, losing something. It's the struggle bus, basically, okay? They just showed me, bitch, I'm drowning, from the Aesthetic Oracle. So yeah, you're supposed to help people when they're in bitch I'm drowning mode, okay? Because haven't we all been there? Yes, all right? So who better to help somebody out of bitch I'm drowning than somebody who's been in bitch I'm drowning, right? So I feel like that could be something here where, yeah, you're just meant to be a healer or a helper. And some of you who maybe you don't know what your purpose is, you could be going through some, and I feel like this actually is a specific message for whoever put that comment. You'll know because you obviously commented it. Like, you don't know what your purpose is. I feel like there's something here where whatever you're going through right now. So if you're going through a lot of like relationship struggles, if you're going through like losing your job, if you're going through, you know, depression or anxiety or healing something, if you're going through addictions, this could be actually getting you ready for your life purpose, because you're going to help other people with these exact issues, these exact things that you're dealing with. Okay? Which is incredibly encouraging, because it means that you didn't suffer just to suffer. We never really truly suffer just to suffer, right? Okay? So, yeah, that is for somebody, like whatever you're going through right now, you're going through this because you're meant to heal, of course, and heal parts of yourselves and awaken to parts of yourselves, but you're also meant to be able to help other people who are going through it too. Maybe not right now, but one day you will be able to. We have the friendship card that came out. And that's interesting because we saw the friendship several times with the aesthetic oracle. It says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Yeah, so this is that energy of like, you know, meeting people and them having significant parts to play in your life or in your journey, you know, in your sense of self-development here, right? We have health on the bottom of the deck. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. So some of you guys could really, I don't know, through maybe a friendship or through maybe some connection with somebody, like learning to take care of yourself better, or maybe you're teaching somebody else how to do that. Okay, that's for somebody. But yeah, I feel like you might be seeing here that like connections that you went through, good, bad, positive, negative, whether they're still around, not, right, whatever. I feel like you're seeing that this was for a reason, you know? And the friendship card being like purple, it's giving like the crown chakra, that violet energy, okay? So yeah, there could be something here where this is opening up your connection to the divine more, being connected to this person. Some of you guys might find a mentor, or you might become a mentor for somebody. That could be something you don't see coming, okay? Is that. Oh, look, we have purpose. Okay, amen? Yes, purpose says, I know what I am here to do. That's something that you don't see coming. Like I said, for some of you that just, you're like, I don't know. That's what I'm getting here. Like, you know what you're meant to do. Some of you guys, you worried about that, right? Another thing I'm seeing here for what you don't see coming, regardless of whether it has to do with like your life purpose, your life path, anything like that, there is just something that you know that you need to do. Take that as it resonates. I feel like, I don't know, I'm getting the message from spirit of like, they'll know what that means. Whoever that's meant to hit for, you'll know what that means. You know what you need to do. You're just worried. It says, I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Exactly. Guilt, gratitude. So you could just be worried about doing this, but that worrying isn't going to change how it's going to turn out either way. And for those of you that this is talking about like your life purpose, you're worried that maybe, I don't know, making the wrong decision, making the wrong choice, stepping onto the wrong path, how you're going to be received. I don't know. There's something there with that. Let's get one more. One more for Gemini gang. Oh, wow. This is a long reading, y'all. I didn't even know we were over an hour already. Okay. Okie dokie. We have denial. And it's not just a river in Egypt, okay? I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And so that is something here for some of you guys who you have a certain mission, or you have something you're feeling compelled to do, or whatever this is talking about with this purpose. I feel like there's something here where it's like you could deny and you could make all kinds of excuses or reasons of why you're not doing this. But it all comes down to fear, actually. Fear of the unknown, right? Fear of how this is going to turn out. Fear of how I'm going to be received. Some of you guys might be like, people are going to look at me like I'm crazy if I start coming up to them, random strangers, and telling them they need to forgive and they need to let go and they need to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be the laughing stock of the town. That could be for somebody. But, and it's like, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, but don't deny that that feeling's not coming, or that resistance to that is not coming from fear. You know, don't try to like put it onto something else. Well, I'm just too busy, or stranger danger, right? Or whatever. You know, I'm antisocial, whatever you might put that on. Put it where it needs to be. It's fear. Okay? Honesty. It says, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And that could be something that you don't see coming, is honesty from somebody, or honesty to yourself about something. But for some of you guys, I feel like it might be from somebody. There's like some kind of major growth that's happened here that you just don't see, Gemini, okay? Whew, that was that reading was a little unexpected, guys. I didn't think it would go there, but it did. But I do hope that it helps. I hope it resonates. Hope it does something. And I will definitely see you guys on the next one. Bye.